Good morning. All right, happy Tuesday. So part of the goal today, when Randy and I were talking, he said, get up there and share some of the ideas that you and I have been talking about. And so I'm really going to be in more of a teaching mode today, and I want to leave you with a couple of ideas that'll be questions at the very end. But the fundamental question that we're all trying to figure out as an employer, because like you, I lead an organization with employees, and they're our largest cost, is how do I get them to be as effective and productive as possible? And the thing is as HR leaders, some of you are in the room or in that hat, you're the ones that pay attention to a lot of the costs related to claims, but that view isn't shared by most people in an employer. Most people are not looking at claims. They're looking at other things. And what I want to do is share with you some ideas on how do we get better results. But at the end of the day, it's about getting better results at the individual level. And a person who is highly productive, highly engaged, is, in our words, activated. Meaning they're not just listening to the information we're putting in front of them, but they are waking up every morning and keeping their journey to a healthy, happy life as their responsibility, and they're on that journey. And I want to just start with a quick story to show you what that looks like. So when I was 30 years old, I was in a horrific accident, ended up having a major surgery, and began, despite having been fairly healthy, living in pain every day, back pain. And for any of you who've had back pain or neck pain or headaches, they're a little distracting. They're also demoralizing. I was carrying my newborn son one beautiful sunny summer day out in our front yard, just holding him in my arm when he's that small and I'm holding him. And out of nowhere, I'd been feeling okay that day. My back went out and I fell to the ground. And unlike the great heroes of this field in this stadium, when I fell, it wasn't graceful. I did happen to hang on to my son as I fell, but it was terrifying. And I didn't know what to do. I'd tried everything that I'd been told to do, rehab and chiropractic, all of it, and I still went day by day living in pain from level 2 to level 10. And I was a good employee, but there were days I wasn't at my best. So I changed employers about 6 years ago to where I now work, and after people saw me for a year in and out of this, they're like, you just got to go try our back program. And so I did, and I was encouraged, and I took the time off work to go to rehab, and lo and behold, it actually worked. And I'm 2.5, 3 years into living without pain every day. But it wasn't because I went to the program alone. It was because they connected with what was going on inside me, my sense of purpose, which was I didn't want to fall on a kid. I wanted to play with my kids. I want to play with my kids for the rest of my life. So every morning before I get out of bed, I do a few simple exercises to warm up my body and to begin strengthening my core so that I don't go backwards. That's what activation looks like. Everybody in this room has their own journey, or someone very close to them is on a journey dealing with some kind of chronic health issue, mental health, physical health, financial health, whatever it may be. And what we want to do is empower people to be able to know what's the one thing they can do every day to keep themselves being more engaged. And the thing is, as employers, you have a huge amount of influence. We may not want it, but we have it. And with that influence comes some accountability. And so the question is, what can you do to help your employees get to the point where they're not afraid to go out with their daughter and shoot the duck on roller skates for the first time in 30 years? That's me last winter. Not afraid to fall. How do you get people to get back to that place where they're not afraid to fall and to play? Let's talk about it. So let's go to the facts. We are going to chase the money for a moment. I don't need to know anything about any of you, and I can tell you that in your company, 3 of the top 5, if not the 3 of the top 3 claims drivers in your health insurance are these 3 things. This is true across almost every employer. There are a few anomalies if you have an employee with some super complex condition, but you're going to see neck and back pain, depression and anxiety, and of course heart disease and diabetes. And you know what? All of these are manageable, if not reversible and preventable, through healthy behaviors. Now the thing is, again, like I said a moment ago, HR folks look at this, but most of the rest of the company doesn't. So then how do we bring health into day-to-day operations? Well, the thing is all of you, no matter what your job is in a company, are looking at health issues indirectly. You're looking at issues like injuries and safety. When somebody's distracted because they're going through a divorce, because they've got a sick kid, because their financial situation's not great, they're more prone to have an injury or an accident. You know, the next one is quality. One of the manufacturers I work with closely, my number one champion there is not HR. It's not the CFO, even though they love the results we're getting for him. It's the chief quality officer, because he is keenly focused on figuring out how do we go upstream to equip employees to show up at work fully present so that the quality of the things that they manufacture, which are shipped overseas, are perfect so they don't have to ship them back or ship somebody there to repair them. Quality actually was the person that became our number one partner in driving cultural change with that employer. Turnover. You know, people quit their boss. Number one reason people quit a job is they quit their boss. And that boss could be because of their personality or their inability to fix bad processes and things. And so when we look at turnover, we're looking at mental stress often if there's continual turnover. So when you look at persistent turnover in certain areas, there's a sign of some sort of stress in the individuals that you can work on. You look at unscheduled absences. This is a sign of when somebody has got something going on in their life that they weren't prepared for. It could be a sick kid. Could be that they're just not feeling committed to work. But it's this indicator of things going on. And another one is engagement. Not all employers do engagement surveys, but this is like, how likely are you to refer our company to a friend to work here? These kinds of questions where you can tell, are people committed to where they are? My point is, these are just a few examples of many where no matter what you do, you're actually looking at health data, physical or emotional health data, but indirectly. And the challenge is most employers aren't getting every people leader to think about what's driving the outcomes. And if we get them to look at the things that they are looking at, and then say, okay, but what causes that? And we go upstream. This is where we get to having an honest conversation about what do we need to do to create healthier, more engaged employees. If you need any proof, I could put pages and pages of data up, but from Gallup, just a couple quick facts just to throw up on the screen, which are that people who have high health and well-being have lower unscheduled absences, fewer work claim costs, et cetera. So there's just a bunch of stuff going on that you can see. So now what do you do about it? Well, here's the thing. We're all managing people. And people have a common experience. And this chart is what happens when we looked at over 1 million claims. This chart reflects every single human being. You start out healthy, whatever that may be. Then you go along in life and something happens. It might be a little blip like a cold, or it might be a massive car accident and it's a big blip. And then at some point you return to either health or a new normal or something that begins a more complex journey. So then, the question is, what do we do about it? And what we want to do is keep people healthy as long as possible, reduce the magnitude of that blip, and shorten the duration of it so that people get back to their optimal health. That's the goal of what a partnership between care delivery and a health plan and an employer is looking to do, is to layer the resources to accomplish that outcome. So Health Partners has one of the largest research institutes in the upper Midwest. We're actually one of the leaders in developing the artificial pancreas and a whole bunch of other stuff. Amongst our research, we took a look at companies that had really effective health and well-being programs. We found that they outperformed the S&P 500. We found that they had far better productivity results. And the question became, how? We did this because there are some people saying that health and well-being doesn't have a return on investment. It's not worth your time. And the answer that I have to people who advocate that position is, you're right for some of the programs, because many of the wellness programs out there are simply putting up a poster and sending out an email campaign saying, take care of yourself, which is completely ineffective design. These companies that did really well had 3 areas of shared practices. And today, for sake of time, I'm boiling it down to just a couple points. But they focused on leadership, the environment, and individuals. Lead, create, activate. If your leaders don't walk the talk, if your leaders don't invest in making wellness relevant to productivity, wellness relevant to what your organization does, if you're a school district, your teachers needing to stay present with children that they're teaching, as opposed to manufacturing, staying present with their activity, whether it's on the line or working autonomously, we need leaders to connect the output of your organization to wellness. Because people are the driver. Even if you are an automated organization, your technicians that keep those machines running have a huge impact. So leadership needs to talk about this at all levels. 2, you need leaders involved at all levels. It can't just be the CEO, because people look up for permission. And if we really want to create cultures of health, we need leaders who walk the talk. So like during my day, I will go do stretching exercises. And in fact, one of the things I do is called countercultural. And I'm going to invite all of you, because it looks like you're done eating, to join me. We now know that sitting is the new smoking. How many of you have heard that? I'm seeing some money. Good. So sitting is the new smoking. We know that the more you sit, the greater likely you have of having higher rates of depression, greater rates of obesity, and other neck and back pain, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I want to give you 8 words that you can take to heart and take back with you today. 8 words. Repeat after me. The more you sit, the faster you die. So here's the thing. This is a great room. You can stand up and walk around in the back. I don't care. I encourage you to move. The more you move today and every day, and you equip your employees to move throughout the day, and if your employees move a lot, it may be about stretching, it may be about strengthening. So you need to adapt this, but movement appropriate to your work site is critical. And you're all still sitting, so good luck with that. All right, leadership. Second of all, creating the environment. Well, creating the environment is about what Belen did a fabulous job of this morning, which is giving us healthy food to eat, to fuel our bodies and to fuel our minds. We make a lot of decisions as employers. Like, do you allow vaping on your campus or not? You shouldn't, but you might. Do you have healthy foods in the vending machines or not? Do you actually have a culture of encouraging people to get up and move? Do you have mental health coverage for your employees? Do you have an EAP that actually helps people not with basic mental health capabilities, but also more of those broader services like helping people find adult daycare for their aging parent or daycare for a child? It's these kinds of layered services that's creating the environment to support people. The last area is about activating. And we've been spending a ton of time looking at, so how do you, at the end of the day, put in front of employees things that are going to activate them? In the Amazon Prime world, we know that people expect us to know them. If you shop on Amazon Prime, like I do, Amazon Prime knows that my cats only like one kitty litter, and so the only kitty litter that shows up is the one that we order from Amazon Prime. The cats will not pee in the other kitty litter. It's annoying, and Amazon Prime can tell this from my history there. People expect the same in health and well-being. And so how do we put in relevant choices in front of people? Well, we've been spending a lot of time at Health Partners working on this because we're both a care delivery system like Belen, and we partner with care delivery systems like Belen. We're a health insurance company, as you can see through Robin, but we also do well-being, which means that we have a lot of data. And people expect us to show up and show them that we know them. So things that we might know are that, somebody is male, 49 years old, from eligibility data. We know from a questionnaire what some of their behaviors are. So here's an example of a person that reports low fruits and veggies and that they're dealing with a lot of stress in their life. But we also are able to pull in claims data. And because of that, we also might know that this person has unmanaged diabetes and has shown up at the ER for a whole bunch of things that they could have done either online or at their primary care physician or just anywhere less expensive than the ER. So we have all kinds of data, and what we're doing is leveraging that to change their web experience and their communications experience. So here, when somebody comes through the work that we're doing through Wellbeing with an employer, and they're coming into their wellness platform, on the left-hand side of the screen, you see that we have changed the order of all the different programs to the things that are going to improve their health the most. These are things where they've told us that they have readiness for change. So let me give you a concrete example. Somebody who smokes, it may be the most important thing that we can do from a cost perspective to get them to quit. But if they're like, yeah, I ain't quitting, I'm stressed and I'm tired, the most important thing we want to do is put the sleep and stress at the top of the list and bury tobacco down. Historically, personalization didn't do that. It just said, well, you're a smoker, we're going to put smoking right in front because it was the highest value. We now leverage readiness for change. We can actually look at the way you answer questions and understand how ready are you for change on these critical behaviors, and thereby put things in front of you that you're willing to hear. That's the power of personalization. People don't think of it as Big Brother. They actually feel like it's Amazon Prime. It's personal shopping. And they take more action to improve their health because we're making it easier. On the right-hand side, though, what you'll see is we also want to get them to use lower-cost care. So we're putting in skip-the-trip messages where they can get the care that they're getting right now online, and a reminder to call their nurse and get help on that condition, or call their doctor. This is what personalization and integration is doing to help activate individuals to make it easy, so that we're putting in front of them things that they're ready to change, things that they care about, things that they know will improve their life. And that's what we're looking to do, is how do we get them to activation? We got to make it easy. But it only gets easy if the environment is set up to support them. Does all this work? The answer is yes. One employer that we've been working with now for 8 years, we're able to show you 5 years of data. This is an instrument that we use that measures the prevalence of risks in a population. And this is a boring slide, but let me tell you the kicker. People do get older every year, and this is cohort data. And as they get older, you expect their risk profile to get higher. That's what the top line is. That's what you would expect with this population. We actually, through having a really effective Lead, Create, Activate program that had personalized resources to every individual, as you can see here, reversed the effect of aging with this population and reduced it over 14%. This is a cohort. That means as people were aging, we helped them practice habits that got them healthier. Not only compared to where they would have been, but compared to where they started. This is because the employer has been able to wrap a full suite of services around them, but also driven home that message of we care about you, and we want you to do what you want to do to get well and to live a full life. So I'm going to leave you with 3 questions. And this is where I want to leave today. 3 questions that if you take these home or back to the office with you, this is what you and your colleagues can talk about. 1, are we looking at the data comprehensively? Are we really, really looking upstream to understand what's driving the outcomes we're getting with our employees? Are you looking at the safety data? Are you looking at quality? How do we connect that data to our outcomes and connect it to health? So these questions like, how do we have a conversation about what's going on that's getting us the results we're getting? 2, are healthy choices the easiest choices at work? Hate to break it to you guys, but we as human beings are kind of lazy. And you can't just make healthy choices easy. They got to be easiest. Easiest. We're going to grab what's easiest most of the time. When we're stressed and we run into a break room, we're going to grab what's cheapest and easiest. So what is it that you're putting in front of people? And the third question is, are you actually meeting people where they're at? Is your program designed to meet each individual where they're at? One of the great things about Bellin's programs on site is they meet each person in a personalized relationship to support them on their journey. And that is critically important. And there are a whole bunch of other things that you might want to make sure that are personally put in front of them. And so it's the partnerships that we can all collectively create that delivers amazing results. So today, I just want to wrap up by saying a huge thank you to all of you for even showing up. It means that you care about the employees on your team. I want to say thank you to Bellin for caring about this community and bringing you together to learn from each other. And last but not least, I wish you all well in your journey to conquer whatever's holding you back so that you someday can get out there and shoot the duck. See you later.